What if I told you that the absolute worst time to sell your Chicago home is actually the best time? It sounds completely backward, I know. Every year I see dozens of homeowners pull their listings off the market right around Thanksgiving. The conventional wisdom says things slow down, nobody's buying during the holidays, we'll wait for the spring market. In this video, I'm going to show you why that is the single biggest, most expensive mistake you can make. I'm going to expose the secret of the winter market and show you how you can take advantage of it. Taking advantage of it can mean selling your home with a huge strategic advantage you simply won't have in April or May. This isn't about luck. It's about understanding the real dynamics of the Chicago market when everyone else is distracted. I've seen homeowners leave money on the table, and it really frustrates me to see this happen, to know that these mistakes were completely avoidable. For over a decade, I've been helping people sell their homes in the Chicago area. And the same pattern emerges every single year. The weather gets a little colder, the holidays approach, and a collective panic sets in. Sellers rush to pull their homes off the market, or they decide to postpone listing until spring, convinced that they've missed their window. They've been told and they believe that the real estate market essentially hibernates from November to February. That belief, it's not just wrong, it's a financially dangerous myth. The problem with following the herd is that you are voluntarily walking away from a low competition environment and choosing to enter the most saturated, most competitive market of the entire year. Think about it. What happens in spring? A flood of inventory. Suddenly, your beautiful Elmwood Park condo or your charming Edison Park single family home isn't one of a handful of options. It's one of dozens. You're competing with every other seller who had the exact same idea. This means more competition for buyer attention, more price comparisons, and ultimately less leverage in negotiations. The biggest mistake isn't selling in the winter. The biggest mistake is waiting for the spring. So let's bust the biggest part of this myth, the idea that no one is looking for a house in the winter. It's simply not true. People's lives don't just pause for 3 months because it's cold. What does change is the type of buyer who is out there. The casual browsers, the neighbors who are just curious, the people who are maybe thinking about making a move, all the tire kickers, they're gone. They're at home, online shopping, planning for holiday parties. So who is bundling up and scheduling a showing when it's 20 degrees and snowing? The serious buyers, the must move buyers. Think about the reasons someone actually has to buy a home, regardless of the season. One of the biggest is corporate relocations. They're a huge driver. Companies don't stop transferring employees just because it's cold. And many timelines align with the start of the new year. Then you have buyers affected by life events, a change in family situation, or maybe their lease is ending January 31st. They're pre-approved now for a mortgage. They don't want to keep renting. There are also savvy financial buyers looking to close before the end of the year for tax purposes. These aren't dreamers. These are buyers with a deadline, a pre-approval letter in hand, and a very low tolerance for playing games. They're not just browsing, they're hunting, when they walk into your home, they're viewing it through the lens of, can I make an offer on this today and close in 45 days or less? That is a fundamentally different and far more valuable type of buyer than the one who is just starting their casual spring search. This high level of motivation is such a powerful advantage for you as a seller. This brings me to the most critical point, the secret weapon of the winter seller, a dramatic lack of competition. Now, while the overall housing supply in Chicagoland has been tight for a while, what really matters here is the seasonal pattern. Because historically, the number of new homes being listed takes a nosedive from Thanksgiving through February. Sellers pull their listings thinking the market is dead. This creates a vacuum. It's a classic case of supply and demand. Even if the pool of buyers is a bit smaller, the supply of available homes typically plummets. Your home, when listed in December or January, suddenly becomes a shining beacon in a sparse landscape. Instead of being one of 25 similar homes for sale in your neighborhood in May, you might be one of 3. Think of it like selling coffee. Would you rather open a shop on a block with a dozen other cafes in July, or be the only coffee stand right outside a packed ice skating rink in January? You might have fewer total people walking by, but you're going to capture 100% of the business from those who want coffee. It's the same with your house. You get a bigger share of the buyer pool. So this means your listing gets more attention, more focused consideration, and more showings from those highly motivated must-move buyers we just talked about. This scarcity gives you leverage. Now for that other pervasive myth, that if you sell in the winter, you have to brace yourself for lowball offers. The thinking goes that buyers believe you're desperate to sell during the off-season. But based on what we've just discussed, the reality is often the complete opposite. Because there are so few competing homes, you're not as easily forced into a pricing war. In the spring, if there are 5 other homes just like yours on the market, you're all benchmarked against each other. A buyer can easily say, well, the one down the street is listed for $10,000 less. In the winter, you might be the only game in town. This gives you the power to price your home based on its true value and hold that price with a lot more confidence because buyers have fewer alternatives. Beyond pricing, winter offers a presentation advantage you cannot replicate at any other time of the year. The cozy factor. A home in winter can feel like a warm, inviting sanctuary. You have a unique opportunity to create a powerful emotional connection. When it's cold and gray outside, a buyer walks into your home and it's filled with warm light, the scent of pine or cinnamon, maybe a fire's going if you have a fireplace. It feels like a refuge. It feels like home. This emotional appeal is incredibly powerful and often the tipping point that makes a buyer fall in love with your property. You can't get that same feeling on a hot, humid day in July. With your staging, think plush pillows, throw blankets to combat the earlier darkness, some seasonal decor that makes the space feel festive and welcoming. Now, if you're starting to see the winter market a little differently, do me a quick favor, hit the subscribe button. I release videos like this all the time, designated to give Chicago homeowners a real practical advantage. And I want to hear from you. What's the biggest myth you've ever been told about selling a home? Drop it in the comments below. I read all of them and I'd love to hear your experience. Okay, I can hear the biggest objection now. It's the one I hear every year, but I don't want the hassle. I don't want strangers trekking through my house with snowy boots while I'm trying to have a family Christmas dinner. This is a completely valid concern. The holidays are a personal, special time, and the idea of keeping your home show ready can feel overwhelming. But here's the solution. You're in the driver's seat. Selling your home doesn't mean you have to sacrifice your holidays. First, you establish blackout dates. Work with your agent to block off specific days that you don't want any showings, period. You decide. Second, you can absolutely should require buyers to be fully pre-approved before they can schedule a showing. This is a fantastic filter that immediately weeds out anyone who isn't a serious qualified buyer, dramatically reducing unnecessary showings. And don't forget, technology is your best friend. High quality photos on the internet are going to attract the serious buyers. They'll spend time looking through your home on the photos before they ever even request an in-person visit. This means that by the time someone does schedule a showing, they're already highly interested and qualified. Remember, the serious buyers out in the winter are also busy. They want the process to be efficient too. They're not looking to waste your time or theirs. By setting clear boundaries and using the right tools, you can absolutely have a peaceful holiday season and a successful home sale. Okay, so let's recap. The biggest mistake a Chicago home seller can make is buying into the myth of the winter slump and waiting for spring. By doing so, you're willingly walking into a sea of competition. The secret to a strategic sale is to list when others aren't. The winter market offers you a pool of highly motivated, must-move buyers who are ready to act. It gives you a massive advantage with far less competition, allowing your home to stand out and giving you more negotiating leverage. And it provides a unique opportunity to create an emotional connection with buyers through a warm, cozy, and inviting home presentation. Selling your home is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. Please don't leave money on the table or waste valuable time by following outdated herd mentality advice. The smart move is to zigzag when everyone else zags. Take advantage of this secret winter selling season. If you're thinking about selling your Chicago area home this winter and want to understand exactly how to position it to capitalize on these unique market conditions, give me a call. All my contact information is down below. I would be happy to do a one-on-one strategy session with you. It's completely free, no obligation. We can map out a specific plan for your property and your timeline. So don't wait for the spring rush. Let's get ahead of this together.